Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. Today we're going to be looking at the Castaic real estate market.
Okay.
Specifically, we have a transcript here from December 21st, 2024.
Night before Christmas.
Yeah, from a local expert named Connor, and he gives a video update of what's going on in the market.
All right.
So we're going to kind of go through this and see what insights we can glean from it and how that can help you guys with your real estate decisions as we get closer to the new year.
Sounds good.
Okay, so first, let's just take a look at the Santa Clarita Valley as a whole. Connor tells us there were 456 active listings the week leading up to December 21st,
Okay.
216 pending, and 40 sales.
All right. So, that's pretty typical activity for December, I think.
Yeah.
And Connor predicts some modest gains for the next year.
Oh, okay.
Things might heat up a little bit come February and March when you have more buyers coming in.
Right.
And sellers starting to list their properties.
So more competition on both sides.
Exactly.
Okay, interesting. All right, so let's narrow our focus now down to Castaic itself. Connor gives us a price range for homes in Castaic from $649,000 to $1.3 million.
Wow.
That's a pretty big range.
Yeah.
And then he says the average price per square foot is $571.
Interesting. And actually, that's, a little bit below average for some of the neighboring areas.
Oh, okay.
So Castaic has that, desirable kind of suburb feel.
Right.
But it also might present a value opportunity for buyers.
Okay, more bang for your buck.
Potentially, yeah.
Interesting. All right. So he also tells us that most homes in the area are that classic 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom setup.
Right.
And if you're actually curious to, look inside some of these properties,
Yeah.
Connor recommends this website called SantaClaritaOpenHouses.com.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I like that website because it's just straight listings. You don't have to register or anything.
Oh, nice.
There's no ads.
Easy to use.
Easy to use.
Cool. All right. So as far as timing is concerned, Connor tells us that homes in Castaic are spending anywhere from 10 to 107 days on the market.
Wow, that's a big spread.
Yeah. I mean, 10 days, that's a quick turnaround.
That is.
But over 100, that's more than 3 months.
Right.
So I feel like there might be some opportunities there for a negotiation.
Yeah, you're totally picking up what Connor's putting down.
Okay, good.
If a property's been sitting there for a while and they haven't reduced the price,
Right.
that could signal that they're a little bit more open to offers.
Okay.
And, this is where knowing how to negotiate is really going to come in handy.
Right, especially as we head into a potentially more competitive spring market.
Exactly.
Okay. So Connor really stresses the importance of backing up any offer with comparable properties.
Yes.
So what's the strategy behind that? I mean, is it just about proving that you're not lowballing?
Well, it's more than that.
Okay.
Imagine you're a seller and you get 2 offers. One is just a number, and the other one comes with a spreadsheet, showing similar homes that recently sold for a similar price.
Like a comp?
A comp spreadsheet, exactly.
Okay.
Which one seems more credible?
Definitely the one with the data.
Exactly. It's about seller perception,
Right.
which Connor talks about a lot.
Right.
And that's where having a good agent can be really helpful.
Okay.
They can, craft that narrative.
Right.
Use data to support your offer.
So it's like having a real estate wingman.
Basically, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so
So Connor even talks about, agents creating these comp spreadsheets.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Which can be super helpful.
So yeah, find yourself a good agent.
Exactly.
All right, so let's switch gears a little bit and talk about open houses.
Okay.
Connor seems to think that open houses are going to become even more important in 2025.
Interesting.
And he's not just talking about them as a way for agents to get leads,
Right.
but as a crucial tool to actually showcase a property's strengths.
I see.
Why do you think there's this shift?
Well, we live in a digital age. Everybody's looking at listings online.
Right. Scrolling through photos.
Fabulous photos, virtual tours.
Yeah.
But Connor thinks that nothing can replace actually stepping inside a home. Feeling the flow.
Getting a feel for it.
Yeah, absorbing those details that you just can't capture in a photo.
And he's actually pretty critical of agents who just kind of sit there passively at open houses.
Oh, really?
Not really engaging with the visitors.
Interesting.
Instead, he wants them to be like active storytellers.
Okay.
Highlighting those unique features that make a property special.
Things you wouldn't necessarily pick up on from a website.
Right, exactly. Like what kind of examples does he give?
Well, he mentions an agent could casually mention that the sellers recently had a contractor inspect the roof.
Oh, okay.
Just to make sure everything is in top shape.
Sure.
Whether they proactively repaired some minor earthquake damage, things like that.
So it's about going beyond the surface level.
Exactly.
And really showcasing that this property has been taken care of.
Yes, it's about reassurance.
Right. Okay. And he even suggests, like, sharing personal anecdotes.
Oh, really?
Like, this is where the owner's first child took their first steps. Just to kind of inject some emotion and personality into the viewing experience.
I like that.
Yeah.
It makes it more personal.
Right. And it kind of transforms a house from just a collection of rooms into a potential home.
Right. A place with history.
Okay, so we're starting to see a theme emerge here.
Yes.
Whether it's crafting a data-driven offer or creating this captivating open house experience.
It's all about understanding the seller.
Right.
And influencing their perception.
Exactly. And having a savvy agent by your side who can do just that.
Absolutely.
But before we get too deep into the art of the deal, let's talk numbers.
Okay.
Connor shed some light on some recent sale trends, noting that most transactions in the past 60 days have landed between $800,000 and $1.3 million.
Okay.
So that gives us a good sense of what buyers are actually willing to pay in the current Castaic market.
Yeah.
And I thought this was really interesting. He says the listing price to sales price ratio is almost 100%.
Wow, so that means homes are selling pretty much for their asking price.
It seems like it's...
That suggests a pretty stable market, doesn't it?
Well, hold on a second.
Yeah.
That ratio only includes the initial listing price.
Oh, right.
What about those properties that see price reductions during escrow?
Oh, yeah.
So the final sale price could actually be lower than that initial listing price.
Good point.
So, yeah, the market might seem stable on the surface.
Yeah.
But there might be some behind-the-scenes adjustments happening.
That aren't reflected in that 100% number.
Exactly. So it's a reminder that the real estate market is way more nuanced than it might appear.
Definitely.
And this is exactly why having an agent who's in the know, who can see beyond the headlines, is so valuable.
I agree.
But we'll dive deeper into that in part 2 of our Castaic Deep Dive.
Sounds good.
Welcome back to our Castaic Deep Dive. We were just talking about how that 100% listing to sale price ratio might be a little misleading.
Right. It doesn't tell the whole story.
Yeah, there might be some price adjustments happening during escrow that aren't reflected in that number.
Exactly. And it's a good reminder that real estate is about more than just numbers.
Right.
It's about the people involved.
The human element.
Yeah, Connor really emphasizes that.
He does. He talks about the hopes and concerns of both buyers and sellers.
And how a good agent can bridge that gap.
Right, by understanding their needs and creating a strategy that addresses them.
Like we were saying before about those comp spreadsheets.
Yeah.
It's not just about showing the data.
Right.
It's about showing the seller you're serious.
That you understand the market and that you value their property.
Exactly.
Okay, so speaking of understanding, let's talk about financing.
Okay.
Connor mentions that conventional FHA and VA loans are the main types accepted in Castaic.
Right. And that's important information for both buyers and sellers.
Okay, so can you break that down for us?
Sure. So conventional loans are kind of the standard option.
Okay.
They usually require a higher credit score and a larger down payment.
Got it. What about FHA loans?
FHA loans are designed to help first-time buyers. They have more flexible requirements.
So it's easier to qualify.
Exactly.
And then VA loans are for veterans.
Right. They offer some unique benefits.
Okay, so it's not just about the house itself.
No.
It's about understanding all the financial stuff, too.
The whole ecosystem.
Right, and this brings us back to Connor's point about open houses.
Yeah, he sees them as a chance for agents to connect with buyers on a deeper level.
Okay.
Answer questions. Address concerns.
So it's like taking that online listing and making it real.
Exactly.
But Connor's not a fan of those passive agents who just sit there and let the house speak for itself.
Yeah, he actually uses the word lazy to describe that approach.
Wow. Okay, so what does a good open house look like in Connor's world?
Well, imagine you walk in and the agent greets you with a story.
Okay.
Maybe it's about the family who renovated the kitchen.
Right.
Or how the backyard was the scene of countless neighborhood gatherings.
Oh, that's nice.
It's about creating an emotional connection. And then they can point out those little details that might not be obvious at first glance.
Like what?
Like recent upgrades or proactive maintenance.
Okay.
Anything that shows the home has been well cared for.
So like maybe the agent could say, the sellers had all the ductwork professionally cleaned last month.
Exactly. Or they had a contractor inspect the roof to make sure everything is in tip-top shape.
Those aren't the things that usually jump out at you in a listing.
No, but they matter to buyers.
Right, because it shows that the sellers have taken care of the property.
Exactly. It builds trust.
And I love Connor's suggestion about sharing personal anecdotes.
Yeah, like this is where our son took his first steps, or we planted that tree to celebrate our anniversary.
That's so sweet.
It makes the house feel like a home.
Right, a place with history.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot of different things today,
We have,
but it seems like it all comes back to Connor's main point:
which is,
understanding and influencing seller perception.
you got it.
It's about creating a narrative that resonates, building trust, and presenting the property in its best light.
But doing so authentically.
Right, no gimmicks or pressure tactics.
Exactly.
It's a delicate balance.
It is. And that's where a skilled agent can really make a difference.
So you can walk that fine line.
Yeah, and make sure everyone's needs are met.
So it's not just about selling a house.
No, it's about creating a positive experience for everyone involved.
I like that. Well, this has been a really insightful conversation,
It has.
but we're not quite done yet.
Oh, right.
In part 3, we'll wrap things up with Connor's final thoughts and some key takeaways for our listeners.
Sounds good.
And we're back for the final part of our Castaic real estate deep dive.
It's been quite a journey.
Yeah, we've talked about market trends.
Those tricky price adjustments.
Right, and Connor's whole philosophy on open houses.
Yeah, he's got some really interesting ideas.
He does. He really emphasizes that human element.
Yeah, he sees agents as more than just salespeople.
Right, they're advisors' confidants.
Exactly, guiding their clients through this whole process.
Which can be pretty overwhelming, let's be honest.
Oh, absolutely. Buying or selling a home is a big deal.
Yeah, it's not like picking up a carton of milk.
No, it's a major life decision.
And Connor gets that. He encourages both buyers and sellers to be proactive.
To ask questions, voice their concerns.
Yeah, work collaboratively with their agent.
It's all about trust.
Right, building that foundation of trust so everyone feels comfortable.
And informed.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, what are some of the key takeaways for our listeners?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway is that real estate is local.
Right. What's happening in Castaic might be totally different from what's happening in Valencia.
Exactly. National trends are interesting.
But you really need to understand the dynamics of your specific market.
Absolutely, and that's where a good local agent comes in.
Someone who's plugged into the community.
Knows the neighborhoods, the schools.
Right. All those little details.
That make a big difference.
Another takeaway is that the market is always changing.
Yeah, what worked last year might not work this year.
So you got to be flexible, adaptable.
Stay informed.
Have an agent who can keep up with the changes.
Exactly, because the market doesn't stand still.
I think Connor's insights have really shown us that real estate is more than just numbers.
It's about people.
Their motivations, their dreams, their anxieties.
And helping them achieve their goals.
Whether it's finding that perfect home.
Or getting the best possible price for your property.
So if you're thinking about buying or selling in Castaic,
remember to approach it with a blend of strategy and empathy.
Find yourself a knowledgeable agent.
Who can be your guide.
And enjoy the journey.
Because it's a journey worth taking.
That's it for our Castaic Real Estate Deep Dive.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
We'll catch you next time.